Hi friends, you've heard of chartered accountants who've been very good at number crunchers. Here I have a chartered accountant who is also very good in terms of his technical prowess. At least the ranks seem to suggest that All India rank 3 in the first level of CA, rank 48 in the second level of CA, and All India rank 6 in CA final. A banker almost all throughout his life, SBI caps and the conventional banks. But why we have brought him on the show today is that he's an accomplished astrologer, so chartered accountant who is also bhavishyavani karne mein expert, a jyotish in a way. So welcome Sumitji, and please tell us quickly like how a chartered accountant landed up in this world of predicting the future of mankind.
Yeah, thanks, Anurag, for inviting me in your show. Uh, to be honest, astrology started earlier than when chartered accountancy started with me, and it's more than I think now 20 years or so. Uh, it is a kind of fate only, prarabdha for me, due to which I entered this field, divine field, and I had a love marriage. So that time, my wife, when we were having the relationships, she took me to an astrologer. And prior to that, I had no idea what is astrology, whether this is actually there is some study or it is randomly done. So when I went to him, he told me few things, general things about the past. I was like, okay, that can be by chance, it can match. And then he said, we asked him whether our thing will get materialized or not. So he said 500% it will get materialized. So I wondered, how can somebody say 500%? It can be like, yes, it should get materialized. It may have some issues. It may not, something like that. If a person says, that is a general kind of statement. But once, if somebody says that no, 500% it will happen, that is something very convincing. And then I took the horoscope. They gave the print and all. So I took the horoscope and went home, and I went through some of the technical things I was not able to understand. But few things which I got is like dasa changes with the dates and all. So over the last 18 to 24 months, the moment date-wise dasa changed, all my events were happening like that. And that actually somehow it strike the chords and somehow led me to believe that there is some science involved in this. And from that day onwards, I'm like just studying and studying and studying. The research still going on, and it will go on. The science is very vast. Nobody can learn even 1% of it in the entire life, even I believe. So that is a kind of grace from God which has given to me. That's how it all started.
That is something. I mean, for an amateur who has not studied anything about astrology, once in a while, मम्मी किसी पंडित को दिखा देती है और पंडित एक अंगूठी पहना देते हैं या सम ताबीज पहना देते हैं सेज कि ये वाला पार्ट करो बट व्हाट एग्जैक्टली बियॉन्ड दैट वी डोंट अंडरस्टैंड मच एंड इवन मम्मी डज नॉट अंडरस्टैंड द मदर और द फादर आल्सो डज नॉट अंडरस्टैंड जो पंडित जी ने कहा वो हो गया फाइनल बट ये होता क्या है मतलब कुंडली एंड ग्रह नक्षत्र एंड दशा चेंज इफ यू कैन जस्ट क्विकली एक्सप्लेन
Yeah, so basically, see, astrology, basically Jyotish, we should use the word Jyotish. It's a part of our Vedic culture.
Okay.
Jyotish is one of the Vedangas. And the ancient sages had mastered, they have got this divine knowledge from God themselves, Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu, Lord Brahma. And it was a study to basically understand what is going to happen in future. Now, future and whatever you are experiencing, you have to understand the karma part. Karma are of three types: prarabdha, sanchit karma, and kriyaman or agami. So I will explain three things one by one. Prarabdha is whatever karma you did in the past lives, and what due to which you are experiencing in this life. That is the prarabdha, which we call destiny basically. Sanchit karma is the accumulated karma. It all, whatever karma you did, do good or bad, it gets accumulated
in this janam
and previous janams also. So out of the accumulated karma, you get some part of it which is prarabdha in this life.
Acha. Okay. Okay.
And then that there's the kriyaman agami, that is the karma which you are doing right now in this life, which will get accumulated into sanchit karma, and which due to which you will experience good or bad in future.
Acha.
So this is
Okay.
the astrology is basically studying the karma only. God has given us this science to help us know what wrong we did, why we are experiencing trouble, why we are experiencing trauma, and why, if anybody is experiencing good times. And we need to understand that and address our karma in this life, or do something to reduce those bad effects of the last previous year karma. So basically, astrology is knowledge to study this karma only.
How does this knowledge go about it? The primary input is your date of birth, the time of birth.
So what I see, there are different ways. Palmistry is one way, numerology is another way. What I do is like studying the planetary part, the horoscope basically. So the time at which you were born and at particular place, that time the chronological synchronization of all the planets is what is forming the horoscope or kundali, which we say.
Sure.
So that is a static part, and entire life the planetary positions changes because of those mathematical calculations. You get to know what dasa you are running. There are 140, more than 140 types of dasas. Whichever dasa is applicable, we need to study that. So accumulatively very complex. It's a very complex. It's not easy to one just read and you will get to know this is going to happen. It's not, that doesn't work like that. Now the knowledge part is basically, if you ask me, it has lost in our traditions. Whatever knowledge is available right now for the newbies or whoever wants to learn astrology, they won't even have 10% of knowledge in the available resources which we have. So all through the last 5,000, 10,000 years, people have kept it secret, kept it through the traditions. Like I am an astrology. If my children study that, I will pass in that secret knowledge to them, sir, and this goes on and on.
There are no proper books on this.
There are books. That's what I'm thinking. Whatever available resources are, they are very limited.
Acha, okay.
And
Because the trade secrets are not codified in those books. They were just passed on from generation to generation.
Yes.
So that it remains in the family. Okay.
Yeah. So right now, whatever knowledge we have, we try to learn through that. We try to understand that, and it's always the grace of the God which helps to actually predict something and good for the others, which may be helpful.
So, like recently, I was very surprised that you had even predicted the entire Adani episode that some wealth destruction is going to happen for Adani. How did that happen?
So basically, in September, there were a lot of talks going on, like Adani has reached the number one wealthiest person in the world. So that attracted me to let me see how things goes for him in future. So when I looked at his horoscope, it did suggest that when in Aquarius sign, whenever Saturn will enter in the early part of it, which happened in end of January and it's going on right now. So that is basically, there were some issues in the financials and that will have an effect on him. So that's how I predicted him.
My God. That, and it was absolutely correct in terms of that whole Hindenburg bomb fell then only. Right?
Yeah, it is, the output is correct, but then we should always focus on the process part, which is the research. There may be several people predicting, there may be few people predicting right, there may be few things getting wrong, but the idea is that people should understand and respect the process and the research which we
Absolutely.
put in this science.
The earthquake also you had predicted, I was seeing one LinkedIn post that post the COVID, there will be a major earthquake.
Yeah, I mean, I will talk about the two major earthquakes. In 2020 or 21, I predicted that there will be an earthquake in August 2021. And there was an earthquake in Haiti where around 2,000 people had died. And then in October this year, when there was solar eclipse, I predicted there will be earthquakes, and the area of focus would be Nepal, India, and then central part of the world map. So the recent one which happened in Turkey is basically, if you see, it's more or less nearest to the central part of the world map.
Yeah.
So I had put Iran and Iraq, but that actually just nearby Turkey is a kind of country which is just nearby to that area.
Okay. And similarly for Rohit Sharma career also you had predicted and it kind of came true.
Yeah, in sports over last 2 years, if you see, not even Rohit Sharma prediction is yet to happen. To be honest, Virat Kohli, for example, last year in January, he was forced to resign from this captaincy.
Yes.
That day, I had looked at the horoscope and then I predicted that this resignation is actually the sign of the changing times which is coming for him. And after 3 to 4 months, the things are going to change. And exactly, maybe after 4 or 5 months, he started getting confidence, which started in Asia Cup, and then in the World Cup it fits. So that was something which went right, and Virat Kohli is likely to go good over the next year also, coming times. So it's good for Indian cricket. And Rohit Sharma, I predicted that after the Saturn transit happens in January mid, his time will turn, and exactly it has happened. Already he has hit 2 centuries, and after April, once he crosses 36, he enters the 37th year. That's going to be much better for him. So maybe Virat and Rohit will help us in this World Cup this year.
Wow. And what are the other major predictions that are up in the pipeline right now? That will be the
So
very good thing to look out for.
so along with the solar eclipse prediction, if you see, I have put certain. Now again, there are certain sensitivity involved in the predictions.
Hmm.
So what I understand is, like, from April 28th till June, these 2.5 to 3 months are very important, and a large event should happen, which will become very memorable and which will be negative. So
Oh.
possible example, I am saying, it's not that this is only going to happen. For example, Russia puts up as something last kind of impact which ends the war.
That will be kind
So
of
so much.
positive that the
No,
war
it's
is.
it's so initially it will not look positive. It will look, there may be some fear also, but
Ah,
ultimately it will end up in a way which will end up positive for
okay.
the world. Then again,
Okay.
Joe Biden, I have predicted that I have predicted in 2020 itself that Joe Biden is going to be president, and if he becomes the president, he will not complete the entire his tenure.
Ah, okay.
So that some linkages with that can happen this year.
Oh, fantastic. And in your entire 20 years of astrology, Jyotish Shastra, what have been your best hits and misses?
So I will talk about the misses first. Bengal election, which happened in 2021.
Hmm.
Uh, I was uh, I was wrong. I was wrong very much. See, now one more thing. What I want to say is, like, along with the predictions, I always tend to give some other part of the events which can happen. For example, in Bengal election, I had written that BJP is going to win. Second, Mamta Banerjee is going to get hurt in the process of the canvassing of votes and all, and which happened, and she was on wheelchair for the entire that election time. And third, I had predicted Suvendu Adhikari will win over Mamta Banerjee. So two went right, but actually BJP lost the elections.
Yeah.
So that was something which went, I mean, kind of miss. Maybe something was wrong in my
Okay.
study.
Okay. What
Then
else?
in for COVID also, in 2019, I had written that February 2020 there is going to be some large event in the world. And see, all my predictions are available in the social media, so I don't want to highlight anything which is given in private. And
Yeah.
2020
That is
COVID
fine.
happened. 2020 COVID happened, and then I realized that this is what I was, whatever I predicted, this was relating to that only. But then people were asking me why, when it is going to end. So that time in February, I whatever I saw, it looked to me that after 3 months it is going to end, but it didn't happen. It kept coming in
Waves are
waves, and
coming.
so I had to
Yes.
realign my again. I had to restudy, and then the wave 2, wave 3 was predicted as it went by.
Okay. Okay. Fine. So, like when, like you're a banker, so you can also predict that this borrower will might not do so well in the future and might do well in the future. That can also you can do maybe.
So if you ask me, in my work, whatever I do, I never use astrology until unless it is very essential. And one important reason is that if I study for myself or my very close people, I will not be able to see it very clearly because it will become bias.
Yeah, absolutely.
So even in fact, whenever I am in some problems and I feel that I had needed some advice, so I go to my guru and ask him.
Ah, acha. So you have a guru also. Fantastic.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Without a guru, you cannot move ahead in this spiritual life.
Yes. I have two final questions. One, a lot of people blame luck for their success or failure. I mean, blame luck for their failures and maybe even attribute it to their success. Now, what would be your take on that? Let's say if we fail, can we honestly admit that I had tried my best? I ideally should have succeeded, but this time I was not destined to succeed. Let's say appearing for an exam, UPSC or CA or MBA or CLAT, whatever, or maybe in my job, some promotion I was wanting did not happen. In business, things didn't click. Can that be something which can be attributed to luck? Can we do something about that?
See, luck, if you go by the what is meant by luck, luck is something which happens by chance. And I believe nothing happens by chance. It happens either through your prarabdha karma, or in some very little cases there are free wills which are there in the horoscopes. So whatever your free will is designed to do, whatever you do and whatever your decision you take in this life, uh, the results you get is according to that only. So for example, I will tell you my own experience
Okay.
in CA foundation exam. First time when I took, uh, in economics I got 33 and I flunked the exam.
Oh my God. Is it?
Yes. And prior to that, my marks in the board exams also were normal, and it was like 80-84%. Maybe I was not utilizing myself. I didn't have the confidence that I can reach that kind of levels and all. So the next time when I gave the CA foundation, I got the third rank all over India.
Yeah.
So that is the turnaround time which happened. And of course, with the blessings of the near and dear ones, uh, the followed with the all India sixth rank in finals. If I had not flunked in CA foundation, I would not have got rank in finals also.
Okay. So you are
So
saying
now if
that
I say,
time.
yeah, so if I say that when I flunked it was by chance or by that, was by destiny only. Because if I had not flunked, I would not have known my actual potential and I would not have studied hard. And
Absolutely.
if you ask me in finals, I got sixth rank. If you ask me whether you were expecting that, I was not. But it was in my destiny, so I got that.
Okay. And let's say if destiny says that you are not destined to marry this person or someone, then one should actually follow that advice and hold back, or what should one do? Or can
See,
luck
there
be
are two things.
changed by some puja or some karma can be done to negate the negative effects?
See, there are two things to it. One is one, you are destined that it will happen. Prarabdha.
Hmm.
If it is going to happen, it will happen. You
Okay.
cannot change that. Now, why will people ask us to worship and all? So whenever we are worshipping God, we get the positive energy
Yes.
to tackle those events which are going to happen. Number one. Number two, by worshipping God, you can request God to invoke some of your sanchit karma which is there, to get some benefits out of there and change some part of your life out of that. But if you ask me, these things are not verifiable, right?
Lot of
Nobody
mystery
can
surrounding them.
yeah. So if somebody is worshipping and something good happens, definitely it would have been in destiny, or whether it was not in destiny, it happened. Can anybody verify that? Nobody can verify that, because once events has happened, you can go back in the past and reinvent the wheel. So
Absolutely.
belief is whatever is there to happen, it will happen. No astrologer can change your life. Nobody else can change your life in this karma, and whoever can change your life is only God. So worship him and have belief, trust, be positive. Definitely things will be good.
Fantastic lines of advice. Thank you so much. And if someone actually wants to follow you, consult you, and maybe follow your predictions, what is the best methods? Following you on LinkedIn, or where do you post such things?
So mainly the predictions which I am giving are mainly in Twitter account.
Okay.
Link I can send you. Astro Sumit Bajaj is the ID.
Yes.
And consultations, I myself very I apologetic, like I don't have that much of time to take so many consultations. Already there are too many requests, but I try to prioritize whoever is like
Really
requiring
needing
the
it.
most and all. Yes.
Okay.
So I
And
try
you have
to
a
give my
website
best.
also?
Yeah, websites and social media accounts are all active.
Okay. So
So, but
Astro
mainly
Sumit
the
Bajaj.
yes, mainly the Twitter account is the first where I place all my predictions or whatever thoughts I have in this.
All right. Thank you so much, Sumitji, for sharing your thoughts. And I'm sure that this is going to spark a new interest in this fascinating world of and the science behind astrology and Jyotish Shastra. So a lot of people, the youngsters, because this channel is mostly watched by people in the 20 to 29 kind of an age group. So they might not really see a lot of value initially because they feel some bekar hai. But given the kind of consistent success that it has created, I'm sure this is going to instill some belief in this science here. Any final thoughts, quickly, a minute or so, if you want to say?
So basically, this Shastra, Hindu astrology, and Vedic science, somehow we need support of the authorities to make it recognizable. People are There is no such standard process of getting a degree or something like that, and all through whoever studies even for a month, they are also practicing that. That's why the belief is coming down, and this is what we require, that we should believe in ourselves. We should have belief in the people who are doing it rightly, and research is something where we need to put a lot of effort
Hmm.
by all and sundry. Whoever is knowing this science, we should all have a research and pass on the knowledge to as much as possible.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And I look forward to your predictions. And that is going to be something that I will keep following you on Twitter, LinkedIn, and
One
your
more thing I
website.
would like to add, yeah. So I don't know whether it was the right time because we are doing it on today. So there are 4 days in a year when we should pray to Lord Vishnu.
Okay.
Next day is coming on this Monday, 13th of Feb.
Acha.
From 9:15 a.m. to 10:30 a.m., we must pray to Lord Vishnu, chant Vishnu Sahasranam, visit Vishnu temple, take 27 parikramas if possible, and
Acha.
chant Narayana mantra. That will be very helpful. The other 3 days, this is basically the Vishnu Kalam Punyapati, which we call, and this is very auspicious.
Okay.
So the other 3 days which will come, we can mention the link also. So we
Okay.
must do that.
Okay. Fair point. We'll do that. Thank you so much. Thanks,
Thanks,
Sumitji.
Anurag.
Yeah. All right. Bye.